Exactly that. As you say, contradictions. I like characters that have some internal battle going on or struggle. And I think here's a man who has a position of authority in a very complex hierarchical structure, and it's going through the crisis and the pressure of a conclave, which he's got to manage. But we know from what he says that he had hoped to have a life in a monastery or away, a simpler life. And this has been denied him by the Pope that's just died. So he's a man whose impulse is probably to go into a monastery and study and pray, and not in a way not unlike I think Pope Benedict felt, as he's really a man of great intellect and really wanted to study and meditate. Wasn't comfortable being Pope, and I think there's slight echoes of that in Lawrence. But as an actor, to play that interior thing, that sort of regret, or I've got to do this and I need to do it well, but I'd rather be here, and that to try to get inside that inner life is a great challenge.
And Isabella, could you tell me a bit about your character, Sister Agnes? Because she is one of the few females on screen, but she leaves such a strong impression on the audience.
Well, yes, as you know, in the Catholic Church, there's a very precise role. Men have the power. Cardinals, Pope, they're all men. They can give Mass. But nuns are present, but have none of this power. But nevertheless, they are very powerful. And I went to Catholic school, and I knew that my nuns were very powerful. In fact, they looked to me as even being... Sometimes I looked at mothers of my friends at school, and the mothers seemed more oppressed than the nuns, who had great authority, and yet they couldn't speak. So that was... I knew that. I'm Roman, so I've seen it throughout my life, that you can be silent or forced to silence, but doesn't mean it takes away your authority. And
Stanley, this isn't the first time that you've worked with Rafe, and I loved seeing how your characters interacted on screen. What was it like developing that camaraderie?
Well, it was great. I mean, you have this beautiful script, and then you have this great actor, and we had worked before, and I wasn't talking about you, and we had worked together before a long time ago, and then we had crossed paths briefly in another film. But this was a real pleasure because we also had the opportunity to rehearse. And when you're not often given that opportunity when you make a film, and even a rehearsal for a half a day or an hour makes a huge, huge difference. And you get to know each other. It becomes more like one would rehearse a play. And you get to know each other, and you get to trust each other, and you get to have fun with each other. So it was a great pleasure. I looked forward to going to work every day to work with him. It was a great pleasure. Thanks. It was just fun.
It did.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Even though it's so sort of intense, it was a very intense, obviously, the story is so intense, the scenes are so intense, but it's fun. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
What's wonderful about working with Stanley is that he is so present and so not acting, and you just feel it grounds you, because this guy is talking to me. He's looking at me. It's real. It's real. It's like there's a kind of beautiful purity to the way he will say a line, just lob it loosely, let it come out. It's a real acting lesson.
I feel the same. I feel the same way about him. I do.
I was going to say, with casts like this, you've got John Lithgow as well. Is it a pleasure on a project like this just to come to work because of who you're acting opposite?
Yeah, there was a huge pleasure for those reasons, because of who you're acting opposite. But also, I think we all loved the project, and I think we liked each other. And I think the first read through, there was a sense of delight in the. I think that can happen in an acting company, in a theatre company, when the play or the project gives everyone a moment and a chance, and there's a wonderful collective energy that can happen with a great script that gives everyone a good sort of bite of the apple.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!